I'm Danielle Felix, and welcome to Fashion with Daniela. In today's episode, I'm going to answer the most common question, and that is, how do I start modeling? What do I do? Where do I start? I'm here to answer all your questions. I'm going to start by talking about my experience and my story, alongside some of my other friends, what they experienced, and just some tips and tricks to get you started in your modeling journey. So, first things first, I do want to make a disclaimer. I feel like the media nowadays is very saturated and biased, saying that everyone can be a model full time. It's not hard. You can make thousands of dollars a month just doing modeling, when in reality, it is so much more complicated than that. If you're here looking to quit your 9-to-5 job and pursue modeling for full time, you will have to make a lot of sacrifices. And unfortunately, that involves driving a lot of hours to stuff that you might not get paid for, alongside going to castings and job opportunities that you don't book. But if you're not willing to make those sacrifices, then modeling is just not for you. Modeling is a very, very tricky career in the sense that you have to hold yourself up so strong that so many people come and knock you down, and regardless, you have to have that strong foundation. If you don't have that strong foundation with yourself and that self-love for yourself, then you will not get far modeling. Even the most successful models, even Bella Hadid, even Gigi Hadid, they've all been rejected from some sort of audition or casting in their whole lives. So you will get rejection as a model, and that's just a part of the career. If that's something that you cannot take, or you think that it will hurt your self-esteem, then I do not recommend starting your modeling journey just yet. So first things first, I'm going to give you guys some background about myself and how I started modeling and what I do now. So I started modeling when I was 19 years old. It was right after high school. During COVID, I was supposed to go to a 4-year university out of state and, have the whole college experience. But unfortunately, when COVID hit, my parents did not want to pay, $50,000 a year to send me away to a school that is supposedly online. So that kind of destroyed my dreams. I felt like I was very low at that point in my life. It didn't seem like I had an idea of where I was going. I wanted to go to my dream school that I got accepted, and then I wasn't going to it. So it kind of threw me over the edge a little bit. So I felt like I lost almost everything and every track of direction that I had for my future. However, that just bloomed so many opportunities for me with modeling. So I started doing community college classes since they were all online and I didn't want to go into student debt. So I started doing community classes, and I found myself having a lot of free time on my hands. During this free time, I started researching on social media such as Instagram and Facebook, and I started finding local photographers in my area along with local brands or small businesses that would be able to shoot with a new model. And after I reached out to a lot, and when I say a lot, I mean a lot of photographers and brands, obviously most of them did not respond. And like I said, a big thing with modeling is rejection, and you will get rejected one way or another, and you just have to have it within you to keep going. So after reaching out to hundreds of brands and photographers in my area, I finally started to get some responses. I got a response from a local photographer saying he'd be down to do a free shoot together. It was called a TFP, so it's like time for photos. I exchanged my time for his photos. So it was kind of like a win-win. We were both trying to get our portfolios up and running. We were both very new to the industry, so it was a very beneficial thing for both of us. And after I got my first photo shoot, I felt like it was the start of so many new things. I was able to get professional photos done, which allowed me to say I had some sort of experience. The photographer was also able to guide me a lot with posing and with facial expressions that I was making, so that was very helpful. And after my first photo shoot, I was able to send those professional photos to the local brands and the local small businesses saying hey, I'm a new model. Here's some of my work. Would you be interested in shooting? Obviously, the more beginner of a model you are, the harder it is to get paid, but you're gonna need to get those free photo shoots, that free work that you do. You're gonna need to do that in order to build a resume to get paid work. So I didn't think of it as a loss. If anything, it's building experience, building my brand, building my name, and everything. So that was able to help me book those paid jobs. And after, I would say I did non-paid work probably for a little less than a year. So it was very difficult at first. Obviously, I had to have a part-time job. I was hosting at a restaurant, and I had to balance the two before I was able to turn to modeling full-time. And after a little bit, obviously word to mouth is very important in the industry, so I was able to set a good experience with everyone that I worked with, whether it was paid or not paid. I always put my best foot out there. I brought great energy and made friends with everyone. And eventually, after working with enough people, my name got around to other photographers and other small businesses that people started reaching out to me. And that was all a process. Like I said, it was very time consuming. It took me almost about a year to get my first paid job, but after that it was easy sailing from there. Like I said, you're gonna need to make a lot of sacrifices when you're beginning your modeling career. Do photo shoots for free, drive far. I had to drive almost 3 hours every time I wanted to go up to Los Angeles because I lived in San Diego. So you do have to make a lot of sacrifices if you want to make modeling your full-time job, but it definitely is possible if you have that foundation and that base love for yourself, that you know that getting rejected isn't the end of the world. You know the industry is tough, the industry is always looking for new things, so as long as you are aware of that if you don't get booked for something, it's not because of you, it's not because of what you look like or what height or what weight you are. It has nothing to do with that. It's simply just because you don't fit the role that they want. Everyone looks for different things. When you think of the ideal model, it could be a different image of what someone else thinks of them. So definitely don't get discouraged. To give you a little conclusion overall, the way I started my modeling journey was starting very small. I started reaching out to local photographers and local brands, offering them my free work in exchange for some experience. And you can do it too. Even if you live in a small town, it could be easier to reach out to those local and smaller brands. And then some of the tips and tricks that I can give to you today would be, 1, do not get discouraged. Like I said, every job is looking for something different. You might not just fit what they are looking for at that moment. That doesn't mean you don't have what it takes, or you cannot be a model. Modeling is for everyone. There's different types of modeling. There's infinite types of looks out there, and you just need to find what's best for you. Another tip I have would be making sacrifices. I know that it may seem like a con, it may seem like you're not getting far, but trust me, you just have to have faith that you're in the right path and those sacrifices will lead to something greater in the future. So that concludes the end of this episode. Comment down below if you have any other questions, anything specific you'd like me to go over. I'm here to help you guys. And thank you for tuning in to Fashion with Daniela.